Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I'm going to answer one of the Java interview questions. That is, write a Java program to demonstrate joining threads. Let me answer this question with practical demonstration. In Java programs, when there is a multi-threaded environment created, when multiple threads can run at the simultaneously at the same time, okay, in the Java programs, then if you got a particular kind of situation, if you got a particular kind of or specific kind of situation where if you want to make the okay, if you want to make the other threads wait until certain task okay involved with a particular thread is completed, okay, some certain tasks which are run by some a particular thread, that thread should complete, then only other threads should run. If you want to solve such kind of situations in a multi-threaded program environment, then you have to join the thread. Okay. So how to join the threads? We have to use a predefined method of the thread class known as join method to join the threads. So what happens when you join a thread? Thread joining allows one thread to wait for the completion of another thread. Okay. This is particularly useful when you want to ensure that certain tasks okay are completed before moving forward in your program. After the tasks are completed, only remaining threads should run. Okay. So if you want to make sure that certain tasks are completed before moving forward in the program, so that particular task, a prerequisite task that need to be done before the remaining part of the program is executed, you will join that as part of a thread. So what happens? Remaining all tasks will not start until this task is completed. Okay. Once the task is completed, the multi-threaded environment can go into multi-threaded mode. But until that is completed, okay, the remaining threads will wait. Okay. So this is called as joining threads or thread joining, whatever you call. Okay. With practical demonstration, I'm going to answer this question for you. So what I'm going to write in the program is I'm going to write a program to demonstrate how to use the join method to ensure that the main thread waits for the completion of another threads before continuing its execution. Okay. Wait for the completion of other threads before continuing its execution. Okay. So what I will do is I'll make a particular thread join to the main thread. Okay. And main thread will join that whatever thread that need to be completed, that whatever the task, that certain task that need to be completed going before moving forward, right? That thread related task, okay, that prerequisite task will be joined to the main method thread. And once the main method, okay, understands that this thread task is completed, then only, okay, then only the main thread will allow the remaining threads to run. Okay. So step by step, I'm going to show you guys, okay, you'll understand it in a better way when I explain in a practical mode how to join the threads and all. I'll create a new class, guys. Okay. I'll just say thread joining some random name demo. With main method I'll create. I'm just creating a class, guys. Okay. Inside the main method, I'm going to start multiple threads. Here I'm going to write the program where multiple threads will run. By default, if you don't write any multi-threaded program environment also, in this main method, okay, in this case of thing, the main method will allocate one thread. Okay. Whatever tasks that are written, whatever the code that is written inside the main method is already a thread, guys. Okay. Single threaded environment. This is actually okay. System.out.println. Here I'll simply say main thread started, main thread started, and here I'll say main thread ended, main thread ended. Okay, like this I'll write the code. Okay, main thread started and main thread ended. And now here what I want to do is I'll tell you to run this multiple threads. Okay, to create a this is like single threaded, guys. Okay, if you run this code, you see main thread started, main thread ended will be printed in the output. This single threaded environment, only one thread will be there. That is nothing but the main thread started, main thread ended. That's it, the story done. Okay. Now, you can also give some time here. For example, system.out.println thread, sorry, not system.out.println. Here I have to give thread.sleep, let's say, thread.sleep, sleep I'll say, and I'll just give some 3 seconds of time over the mouse and ignore the exception for a while and right click run as Java application and observe that only one thread gets this main thread started after 3 seconds. Main thread ended will come. This is what is a thread. Okay. This is all a thread all about. Okay. Now, what I want to do actually is I don't want to, make this a single threaded kind of program. I would like to have multiple threads. Okay. So how to run multiple threads from here, from the main method code, how to write the code in the main method in such a way that multiple threads can run simultaneously. For that, I'll do something. That is, I'll create another class, my threads extends thread class. Okay, there's a predefined class known as thread class. Okay, this my thread is, you can give any name, my Arun threads. Okay, like my T or whatever you want to give, you can give. It's a user defined class name which is extending a predefined class known as thread class. So now I'm going to create a constructor, guys, public. The name of the class is my threads, and I'll use this constructor to, name the threads. Okay, I'll give some name here, like string thread name, I'll say here also parameter, also constructor parameter is also string thread name. Whenever someone creates an object for the my threads, right, my threads class, right, they have to pass the name of the thread. That passed thread will be assigned to that particular, okay, thread dot class, thread dot name, sorry, this dot thread name, this dot thread name, class level thread is equal to this parameter thread. Okay, using this keyword I'll separate. Okay, fine. So this is what I'm going to do. So whenever you create an object for the my threads here, the threads will be, the threads thread name will be assigned. Okay, a thread name will be decided here. For example, here I'll say my threads, TA is equal to new my threads, thread A. Okay, name of the thread is thread A. Thread A I'll say. Okay, similarly, I'll copy this and create 3 objects or 4 objects or 5 objects, whatever. Thread B, TB. Okay, here I'm using TB, thread B. Here thread B, here thread C, here thread C, like this. Okay. Now, what happens when this constructor will be called? When the constructor will be called, the name of the thread will be assigned here to the class level. And now, when you start a particular thread, how to start a particular thread? You see this user defined class is extending the thread class. To start the thread, if I start the object reference of this my threads here, the thread will start. ta.start, I can say. But when you start the thread, what activity the thread will do? What activities the thread will do? We don't have any activities. Okay. To define the activities, what the thread has to do, here I'm going to override a method from the thread class known as run method. Okay. Here this run method is already there in the thread class that I'm going to override. You can write override here. Okay. We are overriding the run method which is there in the thread class, and here I'll write down what is the activity that I want to do when you start a particular thread here, thread A, when you start here. Okay, then what do you want to do? Here I'll simply say system.out.println. I'll first print out this particular thread name plus has started. Then here I'll write down system.out.println thread name plus has ended. Okay, I'll write down. Okay, to make this more interesting and all, I'll write some for loop for int I is equal to 0, I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5, I plus plus. Here I'll write the for loop, and here I'll say thread dot sleep. Okay, because I don't have any other activity which will make this particular thread run for some halting time and all. Okay, so I'll just give some 2 seconds here, and I will surround with this try catch block. It's suggesting to surround with only try catch block. I'll give the try catch block here. I'll remove this part also. Okay, not required that. So try catch block here, and every time I'll just print it out. Okay, every time it goes inside the for loop, I'll print out this thread name. Once the thread name has started, I'll simply print out colon plus I'll print the value of I. Okay, so for every iteration, for every thread, this for loop will iterate 5 times, and every time 2 seconds. With a 2 seconds delay, next print statement, this polling will happen for every 2 seconds. Okay, so that we can know that the thread is running. This particular thread A is running, thread B is running, we can know. So with this, right, what is the advantage is that, okay, when I start the thread, if I start another thread, tb.start, you see, I'm not using join method here. I'm not joining any threads. Okay, I'm not joining threads. I'm simply creating a multi-threaded environment. Okay, start. Here, what is happening, you see. Okay, here, what is happening, you see. ta.start, ta.start, ta.start. Okay, like that I'm writing. So run this code in the multi-threaded environment. All the 4 threads, main thread along with us. You see, main thread started, main thread or ended only. Okay, thread A started, thread B started, thread B parallelly. 3 threads are running, guys. Okay, the main thread is ended before only because it doesn't have much halt time, but remaining all threads you see are running at the same time. But there may be a situation where you want to wait for this particular thread to be completed, then only this particular thread should start. After this thread is completed, then this thread should start. After this thread is completed, then main thread should end. If there is a kind of situation like that, what you can do is, okay, here after ta.start, right, you have to say ta.join. When you say ta join, right, you can ignore the exception forever. In real time, you have to use try catch block anyhow, but interrupt exception kind of stuff. Here, if you say ta.start, ta.join means this other two threads will not start until the thread 1 is completed. Thread A is complete. Until thread A is completed, thread B and thread C will not start. You see that? Right click run as Java application. Main thread started, thread A has started. Till the thread A is completed, you see no other threads will run. You see thread A1, thread A2, thread A3, thread A is running, thread A5. After that, you see main thread ended, thread B has started, thread C has started. Parallelly, they will run now. Okay. Now there is situation where after thread A is started and remaining all threads are running again parallelly right here. But you want after thread A is started, thread A has completed, right? Then if you also want the thread B to be completed before thread C starts, okay, again you have to say tb.join method. Okay, this will make the thread B also to be completed before the thread C starts. Okay, then what happens? Right click run as Java application. Just explore these things. First, main thread will start, then thread A has started. While the two threads are already running, thread B has not started it. Thread B and thread C has not started it. Once the thread A is completed, then thread B has started. You see, thread B has started. Main thread has not ended here. You see, once the main thread is ended, remaining two threads, main and thread C, will immediately end and start, whatever it is. Okay. Main thread ended and thread C started and the remaining thread is completed. But if you want the thread C also to be completed before the main thread ends, then again what you have to do, tc.join. It will join this particular thread with the main thread and main thread will wait until this particular thread is completed. Okay, like this, we have some certain tasks to be completed before the next task. In such kind of cases, that task you can assign to particular threads and you can join them to the main thread, and main thread will actually wait for the threads to be completed and it will take the in charge of other threads not getting started in between. You see, after thread A is completed, then only thread B has started. After the thread B is completed, then thread C will start. After the thread C is completed, then main thread will end. Okay, this kind of thing you want. Okay, in multi-threaded environment, this kind of thing you want, you have to use this kind of logic, guys. Okay, thread C has started, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, thread C has ended, finally main thread also ended. Okay, so this is what the advantage of joining the threads is. Okay, in a multi-threaded environment, when you join the threads, okay, allows one thread to wait for the another for the completion of another thread. Okay, this is particularly useful when you want to run some certain task or code, okay, before completing the other things. Okay, before moving forward with the other parts of the program. Okay, so hope guys have practically demonstrated how to join the threads. Okay, so you can take a screenshot of this main method, guys. Okay, the final main method, you can take the screenshot of this final main method. Hope you have taken the screenshot of this main method code. Now come back here and take the screenshot of this one. Yeah, now you can take the screenshot of this part, which actually run method contains the activity that thread has to do. Once you start a thread, what is the thread activity to be done? That will be written inside the override run method of the thread class. Okay, and naming of the thread will be assigned here using the constructor. Okay, so take a screenshot of this code, guys. Hope that you have taken the screenshot of this code. In the previous interview question also, I covered a lot about threads. You can also see that, and followed by this one also, this answer also. If you see right, it will be more clear for you. In multi-threaded environments, what all the things that you can do. Okay, we are covering as part of answers for multiple questions in this series, in this interview question series. So that's all for this session. With practical demonstration, I've answered this question for you. So that's all for this session. See you in the next session. Thank you. Bye bye.